Hello all. I am Tobias Ipe and I belong to the Kerala Kochi Jewish community, one of the oldest Jewish communities across the world and the oldest Jewish community in the Indian subcontinent. Although in India there exists three main Jewish groups, Bene Jews, Baghdadi Jews and the Kochi Jews. But amongst all of these three communities we are the oldest community in India, about 2000 years old. As most of history enthusiasts would know that today's Kerala was a major hotspot for traders and travelers in the ancient world map. Then there was no Bombay, Chennai and no Calcutta, but many who came to India was to the land called The Muziri, today's Kerala, called the heaven of spices. So you had people from as far as Middle East, Greece and China coming all the way to this land of spices and many settled here. It is said that early contact with ancient Israel dates back to 950 BC, to the time of King Solomon. Earliest Jewish settlers came to the Malabar for trade in teak, ivory, gemstones and spices. Interesting, isn't it? So today let me narrate to you this untold story of this ancient community which most of us don't know. So let's get started. It has been claimed that following the destruction of the first temple in the siege of Jerusalem, 587 BCE, some Jewish exiles came to India, and after the destruction of the second temple in 70 CE there are records found that attest to numerous Jewish settlers arriving at Cranganur, an ancient port near Kochi today known as Kodungalur in Kerala. Due to the city's legendary importance to the Jewish community, it was also called as a substitute Jerusalem in India. Hence, these settlers, primarily Jewish traders and merchants who found the Malabar coast to be a favorable location for trade due to its strategic position on the spice route and its access to the Arabian Sea. Saint Thomas, an Aramaic-speaking Jew from the Galilee region of Israel and one of the apostles of Jesus Christ, is believed to have come to the Malabar in the 1st century, in search of the Jewish community here. And as historians claim, these Malabari Jews were a part of those earliest Christians who at that time were absorbed by what became the Nasrani Syrian Christian community in Kerala. Hence even today many of the native Kerala Syrian Christian customs, dressing, folk songs, naming, wedding customs are similar to that of the Kochi Jews. Some striking similarities include the traditional Kerala Syrian Christian women attire called the Chattayam Mundam is derived from the fusion of Jewish and Hindu aristocratic dressing code, and the golden round hoop earring worn by Nasrani women called as Makkah Motiram was also said to be derived from those worn by Jewish women. The local rulers, including the Chera kings, are said to have welcomed our Jewish community, granting us land and privileges to encourage our settlement. The first official record of a Jewish settlement in Kerala was a village called Anjuvannam. It was gifted by King Bhaskara Ravi Varma of Cranganur, the present-day Kodungalur, to the oldest ancestor of the Jews of Kerala, Joseph Rabban in 1000 CE. In the years that followed, under the leadership of Joseph Rabban, we prospered in the land, and for many years, Anjuvannam was known as the Jerusalem of the East. These people later became known as the Malabari Jews, but we had to relocate yet again, this time to Kochi, although Cranganur, home to our first Jews of Kerala, was a famed and prosperous port town located on the banks of the river Periyar, which was the source of its wealth. Tragically, it was this very same river that brought about a huge change of fortunes for us. Historians state that the floods of 1341 changed the course of the Periyar, brought about heavy silting of the port region causing it to disappear altogether, created new land masses, and this eventually gave way to the ascension of Kochi as the most accessible port on the western side of the Malabar region of Kerala. Many of us moved quickly, and within 4 years, we had built our first synagogue at the new community. Over the time, We the Kochi Jews underwent a process of acculturation and assimilation into the local culture. We adopted aspects of Indian customs, dress, and cuisine while maintaining our core Jewish religious practices. Our syncretic culture was influenced by interactions with Arab traders and the indigenous population, leading to a unique blend of Jewish, Arabic, and Malayali elements. Hence we developed a distinctive form of spoken Malayalam, known as Judeo-Malayalam, which incorporated Hebrew and Judeo-Arabic words. Throughout our history, numerous synagogues have been constructed and lost to time. Our first settlement at Shingali, Kranganur. There existed 18 synagogues as per our oral traditions. Today no archaeological evidence has been yet uncovered to validate these traditions, as most have been said to be destroyed in the 1341 Great Flood at Kranganur. However, the custom of naming our synagogues as Tekumbagam, South Side, and Kadavamgam, Riverside, is cited as a cultural memory of two such synagogues that once stood in Muziri. Several oral songs sung by Kochini women also contain references to these synagogues. Some of the synagogues that believed to have existed are speculated on basis of oral traditions include Madai Synagogue, Kranganur Synagogue, Tekumbagam Synagogue, Kadavamgam Synagogue. At Shingali, soon after the Malabari Jews migrated from Kranganur, they built several synagogues around Kochi, of which in recorded history include Palayur Synagogue, at Palyur, Kerala, Kokamangalam Synagogue, Kochangadi Synagogue, which is the oldest synagogue in recorded history in the Indian subcontinent. Coming to the history of this oldest synagogue, Joseph Azar, the 72nd heir to Joseph Rabban and the last Jewish prince of Shingali, fled to Kochangadi after the Great Flood in 1341 with his followers and founded the Kochangadi congregation. After its establishment in 1344 A.D., it was restored in 1539 A.D. by Baruch Joseph Levi, the Jewish Mudaliyar of the Kochi Jews. It is believed to have been demolished by the army of Tipu Sultan during his raids into Kerala in 1789 during the Second Anglo-Mysore War. After it was destroyed, the Jewish community did not rebuild the synagogue. Instead, they moved to the nearby Kochi and carried with them the inscription stone mentioning its year of construction and planted it a wall of the Kadavamgam Matancheri Synagogue at Synagogue Lane, Jew Town. It was rediscovered in 1818 A.D. when plaster fell from the wall, exposing this inscription tablet. Later on, it was inserted into the east wall of the nearby Pardesi Synagogue, where it remains till today. The tablet is the oldest known Jewish relic from any synagogue in India. Other synagogues built by Malabari Jews include A.T. Kadavamgam Matancheri Synagogue, Tekumbagam Matancheri Synagogue, Chendamangalam Synagogue, Mala Synagogue, Pravur Synagogue, Kadavamgam Ernakulam Synagogue, Tekumbagam Ernakulam Synagogue. Now, coming to our trade and prosperity. The trade and prosperity of the Kochi Jews was central to our historical significance and community's success in Kerala. Our involvement in trade, especially the spice trade, contributed to the economic prosperity and helped us establish strong ties in the region. We played a crucial role in the spice trade, particularly with spices like black pepper, cardamom, cinnamon, and cloves. These spices were highly coveted in Europe and the Middle East during ancient and medieval times. Kerala, located on the southwestern coast of India, was known as the Spice Garden of India, due to its fertile land and favorable climate for spice cultivation. Kochi, one of the primary Jewish settlements in Kerala, was strategically located on the spice trade route, making it a key trading hub. The Kochi Jews, with our extensive network and knowledge of the spice markets, acted as intermediaries between local spice producers and international traders, hence facilitated the export of spices to markets in Europe, the Middle East, and beyond. In addition to spices, We were also involved in the trading of precious gemstones, such as rubies and sapphires. Kerala had a history of gemstone mining, and the Kochi Jews were known for their expertise in evaluating and trading these precious stones. Our involvement in the gem trade added to their economic prosperity and enhanced their reputation as skilled traders. Also, we had intense knowledge about international trade links extended across the Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea. We established connections with traders from various parts of the world, including the Arab merchants who frequented the Malabar coast. Our knowledge of multiple languages, including Hebrew, Judeo-Arabic, and various Indian languages, facilitated communication and negotiation in the diverse international trade environment easier. The success of the Kochi Jews in trade led to economic prosperity for the community. We accumulated wealth through our involvement in various commodities and established ourselves as affluent traders. This economic prosperity allowed us to maintain our synagogues, support our religious institutions, and contribute to the local economy. Now, thousands of years later comes another huge wave of Jews ethnically different in the 1500s. Not to be confused, the earlier mentioned Jews was the native Malabari Jews about 2000 years old. But following the expulsion from Iberia due to forced conversion and religious persecution in Spain and then Portugal, some Jews there fled north to Holland, others found heaven in the already Jewish inhabiting place in the Malabar. These newcomers were called the Pardesi Jews, also called white Jews, settled in the Kochi region in the 16th century and later on, speaking Ladino language and having Sephardic customs. They found as the Malabari Jewish community as established in Kochi to be quite different, and this led to the terming of the Malabari Jews as black Jews and the latter as white Jews. There were resulting tensions between the two Jewish ethnic communities. The Pardesi Jews built their own house of worship, the Pardesi synagogue. The latter group was very small by comparison to the Malabari Jews. Both groups practiced endogamous marriage, maintaining their distinctions. Both communities claimed special privileges and the greater status over each other, though the customs they followed were almost the same. The two groups, white and black, were not united. They competed to claim the ancestor of the Jews of Kerala, Joseph Rabban, as their own. Refused to mix with each other. They wouldn't intermarry, built and prayed at different synagogues, and fought over issues ranging from purity, ancestry, true lineage to Abrahamic roots and superiority on the one hand, and knowledge of the scriptures, practice of rituals, and familiarity with Hebrew. Most of the Pardesi Jews of Spanish Jewish ancestry settled in Mattancherry, in Kochi, which is a historic locality in Kerala best known for its Jewish legacy. It is said that the erstwhile king of Kochi gave this land to the Pardesi Jews in 1524. It is home to several synagogues, or Jewish places of worship, such as Saudi Synagogue, Tir Tur Synagogue, Muttam Synagogue, Fort Kochi Synagogue, a Jewish cemetery as well as a Jew town. So, now we come to the conclusion of how the Kochi Jews live today and what happened to our ancient community. So, India became independent from British rule in 1947 and Israel established itself as a nation in 1948. Although the Kochi Jews had settled down in Kerala, assimilated themselves with the local population and enjoyed the peaceful atmosphere of the state, the Jews had one constant thought in their minds. India and Kerala represented only their temporary place of refuge. They considered Israel as their promised land. That was their true home, which they evoked in daily prayers. With the formation of the nation of Israel in 1948, most of us, the Kochi Jews of Kerala, left in the 1950s and the 1960s, leaving behind only those who were either too old to undertake the travel and endure the rigors of relocation, or those who had become so nativized as to fear the foreignness of their fabled homeland. In returning to Israel, they had made their aliyah. pinning all their hopes on starting life afresh. Many of us, the migrant Kochi Jews, joined the Moshavam agricultural settlements of Navatim, Sheher, Uval, and Mesilat Zion. Others settled in the neighborhood of Katamon in Jerusalem, and in Beersheba, Ramla, Dimona, and Yeruham, where many Bene Israel Jews had settled. We, the migrated Kochi Jews, still continue to speak Malayalam. We still make delicious hybrid cuisine that incorporates spicy Kerala Malabari food and respecting our ancient heritage. Several Israel universities provide Malayalam language as an elective subject, such as the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. It is recorded that currently only about 26 Jews live in Kerala, who are located in different parts of Kerala such as Kochi, Kottayam and Tiruvalla. In Kochi, the Pardesi synagogue remains to be the oldest synagogue in India to be still active as a place of worship. But the Jewish community living is very small. The building also attracts visitors as a historic tourist site. Efforts have been made to document and preserve the history, customs, and artifacts of the Kochi Jews. Museums and cultural institutions in both Kerala and Israel have taken steps to ensure that our unique heritage is not forgotten. The Kochi Jews' history in Kerala serves as an example of successful coexistence and integration between different religious and cultural groups. The ability to adapt to and live harmoniously within the local community is a testament to the potential for diversity and tolerance in multicultural societies such as in Kerala. In conclusion, the legacy of the Kochi Jews is marked by our rich cultural heritage, economic contributions, and historical significance. Although many of us, the Kochi Jews, have settled today in Israel, we can never forget the refuge and long favor the land of Malabar, Kerala, had left for us and our ancestors over about 2000 years. It is the land which became our home when we were thrown out away from our original motherland. And it is in this soil of the Malabar that lies all the remains of our ancestors. The land where they built their houses, raised their children, built and prayed in Malabari synagogues. This was the land where our ancestors breathed freely when millions of our own blood were being killed and persecuted in various Nazi concentration camps and kingdoms. Hence, this land of Kerala is no different for us from our home in Israel. We are no visitors or tourists to this land, but we are indeed Malayalis and Keralites deep down in our hearts. All we can do is thank this land of Malabar, the real ancient mother of exiles. Thank you for being patient listeners. This is signing off, Tobias Ipe. For more such informative, untold stories, please subscribe our channel.